Hello, my name's James Pease. I'm an owner's representative with 20 years experience designing and building commercial construction projects. In this video, I'm going to talk about the cost structure of an IPD contract. This is a common question, so I've broken this graphic up into two parts. Over here on this side, we're going to talk about early when you're negotiating the value of an IPD contract, how do you develop that contract value? And then we'll talk about at the end of the project, how do you calculate what the final cost is and if there's a risk or a reward. So does the team get all their profit or do they not? And is there a shared savings or not? So at the beginning of an IPD contract, the owner is engaged, the primary designers and builders, and there's an open book process to develop the cost for the project as the design is developing. So the cost structure is composed of three components. There's a cost of work. So all of the builders and all of the designers, they calculate what they expect their cost to be. And then the team aggregates all of those costs into a total cost of work. Then the team typically negotiates a contingency. This can either be set up as a percentage of the cost of work or using a risk and opportunity log, which I'll go into in a future video. So let's just say that it's done as a contingency. The team will agree that on top of the cost of work, they'll put 4% in our example. So 4% will be applied on top. And then the last piece is the profit. So in an IPD contract, the designers and builders that are within the risk and reward plan will separate their profit out from their cost of work. So the profit will be aggregated into this profit band. In some contracts, this is called the incentive compensation layer. Inherently, the incentive compensation layer and profit are the same. So then there's a couple of values that can be determined. In some IPD contracts, mostly the IFOA, the Integrated Form of Agreement, the value is looked at as an estimated maximum price, which includes the profit. The reason it's called an estimated maximum price is that in an IPD contract, the owner agrees to pay the cost. So if it exceeds the estimated maximum price, the owner will continue to pay those costs. The team will not get any profit for delivering the project. If the project finishes below that value, then the team is going to get some or all of their profit. And if it does significantly better, they will get all their profit plus a percentage share in the savings on the project. Other contracts will look at this value separately. They'll call this cost of work plus contingency. They'll call that number the target cost for the project. And then above the target cost sits the incentive compensation layer or the profit. Whether you look at a target cost plus incentive compensation layer or you call it an estimated maximum price, the math is the same. You have a cost of work component, which I've noted here includes the overhead for each of the parties. So overhead is a cost of work, whether it's calculated on top of the actual cost, it doesn't matter. It's still included within the definition of a cost of work. Then there's a contingency layer and there's a profit layer. So how does this work in practice? Once the contract values are set and the team is delivering the project, we'll move over to this. So here we've got the same stack, except now I've included contingency within this cost of work area. So each month the team is billing on the project and tracking their costs, and the cost of work is going up. Now we set our target cost here, which is the same as this target cost over here. If the project cost exceeds the target cost, then we'll see this profit band starts to get smaller for the team. And if the actual cost exceeds the target cost plus the profit, or it exceeds the estimated maximum price, then the team will get no profit on the job and the owner will pay for all costs at actual cost, including overhead for the team. If the cost finishes below the target cost, then in most IPD contracts, the team will get all of their profit. So profit is fixed as a lump sum when the contract value is set. They will get 100% of their profit plus some percentage of the savings below the target cost. Now, in a later video, we'll go into more detail about how these risk and reward plans get set up and what the contingency percentages and the risk reward splits look like. But at a high level, regardless of what the structure is, there's generally a shared savings or a loss of profit depending on the actual cost and how it compares to this target cost line item. So to recap that, to build the contract value for our IPD agreements, we aggregate the cost of work for all designers and builders, and we add a contingency amount on top of that, and then we have the profit for all the team members. Those three added up come up to the contract value for the agreement. And then as the costs are billed on the actual project, depending on how the team's final cost compares against that target cost setting or the cost of work plus contingency, the team either loses some of their profit or gets all of their profit and some amount of shared savings. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any feedback, please leave a note in the comments.